One of the very first conversations I had with a woman about this movie, she was in her 30s, and she said it made her realize that she could be just as fucked up in her 50s as she was in her 30s.
Graduate degree.
Yes, and I was like, yes! But that's exactly right. You know, it's like how do we look at each other? You know, we're always compartmentalizing each other in our lives and our dilemmas. How do we find a way to eradicate that and see each other as human beings, regardless of our age, our gender, our culture, our identity, whatever? And that's one of the things that film does so beautifully, is it kind of disassembles all of that. So like I said, I love relationships and I love love stories. Oh my God, I always, whenever there's like a movie about dating, I want to watch it, you know, or somebody getting divorced, or I just love it. So, right? So with John, who's an actor I'd never worked with, but I knew socially and always really admired, I think that we're both interested in that, in the nature of intimacy and what it means to fall in love with somebody. And if you notice, one of the things that I love too is that, you know, Gloria, right away, his phone rings, and the first response is, "So are you divorced or not?" So right away she thinks, you know, oh, this guy may not even be divorced. So she knows that he's not available, and then he pursues her so relentlessly, and then, you know, she eventually falls in love with him. What's wonderful about it is that you see her kind of intellectual self say, oh, I know what this is. I've been down this road before. And then you watch her emotional self get enmeshed. And you see her then pull away and then get sucked back in when she thinks, like, why not, you know? But because she is where she is in her life, you also realize that she will not accept him on his terms at the end of it. That she is at a point in her life where maybe this has happened to her before. She's like, this time, no. I mean, you sort of see that with the Brad Garrett relationship. He's wonderful, too, Brad Garrett playing her ex-husband. I love the moment where Brad explodes and I get up and I go, okay. Because right then you go, oh, I know why they got divorced, and you know, and it's no longer Gloria's problem; it's Jean Triplehorn's problem. She's like, you take him, you know. So I think that minute exploration of what it means to be in a real relationship with someone, you know, what intimacy is, how meaningful it is to us, how destructive it can be. How empowering it can be, all of those things. And then talking to your girlfriend about it too. It's like sitting there with Rita Wilson and saying, you know, and then Rita saying, like, I'll pick up the phone. You know, all that, once again, I'm like, this is something that's so familiar to all of us. So like, it's like, why I'm always curious that there's less dramatization of what's familiar sometimes and more dramatization of what's not. Because, you know, I could talk about this stuff endlessly.